Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the BG Show. We're here to talk about episode 9 of House of the Dragon. It is the second to last episode. Probably the first episode that I'm a little bit underwhelmed, to be honest, but we'll get into it. There's only one episode left. Let's get into all the spoilers. We have a new king. Viserys is finally dead. I'm surprised he lasted this long. No Daemon or Rhaenyra for the entire episode for the first time. So I'll do my overall thoughts first, and then I guess we get to yours. So my thoughts first was I was expecting way more people to die, honestly. Maybe it was just my expectations because Game of Thrones usually the second to last episode is usually the good one. I mean, I was surprised at the ending. I thought she was just gonna leave. The fact that she went down there to get the dragon, um, kind of surprised me. So that was cool. Really, really stupid move because I don't know why they always get like so close with the dragon because like distance is the only thing. So like I was expecting maybe someone shoot her with an arrow or someone like throw a spear and kill her because that's a possibility. I don't know why she got so close. But other than that, I mean, it was tense, but I thought it could have been better. I mean, I don't know the story, but um, yeah, I mean, it was a good episode. Definitely not even close to the best episode of the season for me. What did you think?
I agree. In the world of Thrones, that was an underwhelming episode 9. I agree with you on that. It was not the traditional bang episode 9. It was a little bit lackluster, like season 1 Game of Thrones, when there was no, oh my God, Thrones. It was Ned's head getting chopped off, and no one expected that. This was a little bit more expected, especially with the trailer and preview of Aegon being crowned. From the books to the show, it was definitely better in the books, in my opinion. I felt it was way more tense. The small council meeting was nice with Kristen and Beesbury, him smashing his head and, killing him like that. Overall, I will agree it was a little underwhelming. The other week was definitely better, but still moving the story along. And this was the whole point of everything in the season was to get to this point because it wouldn't have mean so much, Aegon being crowned if you didn't have the whole Rhaenyra backstory with
So,
built in.
so I guess my first, without spoiling anything that comes after this, um, do you think that like, because obviously when you're reading the book, like there's no like stopping point, right? You get to decide as a reader when you start and when you stop. In the show, they really decide for you. So do you think that this was like a good stopping point between the ninth and 10th episode? Like they could have stopped it like before he gets anointed king, and then but then you know what I mean? Like the way they chopped it up. Do you think it was good or not good?
Well, again, they made a slight change, what actually was very, very nice in my opinion, which was the end, which was Rhaenys being held, prisoner that entire time. She's not on in King's Landing during this. She's in Dragonstone during the entire time. And the whole dragon with Meleys coming out at the end and her breaking out like that was a nice change. I will admit that was good, and that was the first thing you said. Like that was cool. That was a nice thing of her getting out of there and disrupting the coronation. Overall, it was you know pretty damn good from a starting point to an ending point for this episode of where they left it off. I would have liked to seen the Greens set been a little bit more related to the book because in the book, Viserys, he's not Aegon isn't crowned so quickly. Like they hide his death for like days, and they work on sending out ravens and like getting like allies prepared for war. And they didn't do that. They kind of rushed into it. So, overall, I thought they did a fine job of starting and ending, and good meat in the middle. Again, like you said, a little underwhelming. I thought Aemond and Aegon, that whole brotherly love really was the side of the episode. Really brotherly love. Him and Aegon and Eric, the Kingsguard, which people are going to struggle with in the beginning because they are twins, and that's the whole point.
I
And
think
we'll see the.
Yeah, I think the Kingsguard, those scenes were weird. It felt like I was watching a little bit different show. The way they were dressed, what they were doing. I don't know. The show had like a totally different vibe when those guys were on the screen.
Well, I think that's a good point because you didn't really know who they were yet, but like you knew they were Kingsguard and they weren't dressed as Kingsguard, which was nice. And also, they were in the Sept, and like you're not supposed to be fighting in the Sept, and like they knew that. So Eric and Eric going at it, trying to find Aegon. They bump into Kristen Cole with Aemond, and Cole and Eric were fighting with each other. So like that's like a big thing to know. Like Eric didn't fight. Eric fought, and then eventually Aemon and Aegon they had their little scrimmage, if you will. Aemon was like, "Take the throne," and he was ready. Aemon wants it, you can tell. Aegon he didn't want it. He ran away. He was hiding. He was drunk. The flea bottom rat pit child stuff was fucking 12 out of 10 out of the book. That's thrones. Like that's pushing the limit.
The yeah, I don't know. It's just like the the main plot, what they're I mean, I get it, like they want him to be the king, but it's like I don't know, it's just like the main kind of tension is like I don't even know. Like obviously Aemond is going to eventually try and kill his brother. You can tell. Christian Cole apparently doesn't age. They just use the same actor for every fucking time jump. He's been the same age, like seems like for 20 years now.
Well, there is no more time jump, really.
Yeah, but like even from the beginning of the show, like it's been the same actor. They haven't even attempted to make him look older at all, in my opinion. I feel like they just kind of ignored that. He's just been like
Same
the
thing
same.
with Damon Rainey's.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I mean, there's just nothing really. It's almost one of those episodes where you just have to kind of like watch it. It's tough to talk about because
Well, I also think it's because it's so fresh in our minds. But you also got to remember the whole scene of Clubfoot and Allison and him jerking off to her feet. Like that's like a very important scene that was like very little and weird. Like I think that's important because of one thing, like that's Clubfoot's way of getting rewarded. Like, and it kind of goes into his character, I guess. Like he hates his own feet, so he has a fetish for feet, which I think is fucking weird as hell. But the big thing
classic
with
HBO.
but here's the thing, it fits, and this is why I kind of I'm okay with it. Allison's whole thing with Rhaenyra is you're not faithful to your husband, you're sleeping with other people, you're having bastards. Meanwhile, she's letting this guy jerk off to her feet. Like, come on, that's not acceptable. You'll agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, the whole show. Yeah, I'm trying to just think about what. I mean, obviously, there's going to be, I would think, some sort of battle in the last episode. Obviously, or at least eventually. Um, I just thought taking them out of the show for a full episode. I just think was a bad decision, even if it's about the book. Um, those are like the two most liked characters, so you kind of make a whole episode about this, Aegon becoming king, who no one even really cares about, and I don't know, very wonky scene. I don't know. I was down on this episode, to be honest. I don't know.
That's fair, but I don't get why you think no one cared about
Well, no
Aegon
one cares
being
about him. I mean, from the sense of what we've seen on the show, we just know him.
from a viewer
Yeah,
standpoint.
you know him. People know him from the books, but I would say a majority of the viewers haven't read the books. And you know, if you were to say that, oh, hey, the show is now going to focus on him, and who knows, he could be dead next episode, or he could be alive until for a long time. There's no way of knowing unless you've read the books. But yeah, I think just taking Damon off the screen for a full episode isn't, it's kind of very risky.
I agree. They should have shown the blacks and their reaction to Aegon's coronation. I think they could have done a better job, and eventually they will. I mean, they're going to find out, obviously, so it's going to be next episode.
Also,
I mean,
who has more dragons now? Like which side?
oh, Rhaenyra and Daemon and the black team have more dragons,
How many
but
do
you
they
got to,
have?
off the top of my head, you have Caraxes, you have Cyrax,
Well,
you
do it by
have
person. Do it by person.
Damon and Caraxes, Rhaenyra and Cyrax, Rhaenys and Meleys. You have, I guess, Laenor and Sea Smoke. I'll give him that. So you're at four. Then you have Jace and Bearmax, Luke and Arax. I don't know if Joffrey has his dragon yet, but he does get a dragon at one point. That's seven. Then on Dragonstone, Vermithor and Silverwing are there. No one's riding them at the current moment, but they are on Dragonstone.
Then how
I,
many does the green
and
have?
then and then Bela has a dragon. I believe she has Morning. I believe is her dragon's name. Uh, and then the greens they have Aegon has Sunfire, Helena has Dreamfire, Aemon has Vagar, Uh, who am I forgetting one?
Wait, who'd you say Aemond and what was the other one?
Helena has Dreamfire.
Oh, the girl has one. Yeah.
Yeah, she has one. I think that's it at the current moment. So you're talking about 8 or 7 against 3 at the current moment. So, but Vagar is so fucking huge. That's the other thing is like Vagar is the biggest, baddest dragon at the current moment. Caraxus is probably the best battle dragon at the current moment because it's just like in its prime and battle tested at
Did
its current
Corlys
point.
have a dragon?
No, but Lanor does. Sea Smoke. They,
So,
but Bela has a
so where
dragon.
are they? Where is Rhaenyra and all them? They're at Pentos?
No, they're in Dragonstone right now. And I'm assuming once Rhaenys arrives, that's where she's fucking going, obviously. She's going to obviously tell her. And they made a couple changes from the book. Like, they did not stick, directly to the source material. I think this episode, like you said, could have been a little bit better. Like, when they were putting the people in the dungeons, did you have any idea what was going on?
Um, no, not really.
See, and like I knew what was going on, obviously, but like I think they could have told that piece better. Like they were putting all the people that either knew Viserys was dead or people they think would support Rhaenyra in the dungeons, and that's why they had that small little room of people, bending the knee, to the crown. And the one guy, I forgot which lord that was, who eventually, faked his bending of the knee, and he got hung. They put that in the Red Keep. So like they're showing you it's about to be darker times and whatnot, but it's definitely a weird episode 9 in terms of the World of Thrones because, like you said, not a lot of people died, but in the first season, only Ned really died, and there wasn't a quote unquote Ned moment because I think, like you and everyone else, they expected and knew Aegon would be crowned. And I think they could have made it a little bit more tense by showing Damon and Rhaenyra, even if it was for 5, 7 minutes throughout the episode, just something of seeing them just to build that little bit up.
Yeah.
It, but but they did a very nice job with Aegon's coronation. I will say they did fill up the dragon pit like really really nicely. They brought the septon out, did the oils, and then Rhaenys busted it. And I will say, and this just popped into my head, the scene with Cole and Eamon and Eric and Eric, that was probably the weirdest scene this season because it seemed like necessary, but so weird for what it was. And from someone who's never read the book, I definitely see that. Like, because you haven't seen them without the white cloak.
When they were just walking around looking for Aemond, it was just kind of, it definitely just felt like a different show. It felt almost like I don't want to say a CW show, but it just felt very different. I don't know. It felt very
Well,
different.
I don't want to say CW is the right word because you're looking for them and you go into like some, pub more or less, and there's, dirty little children, file teeth fighting each other to the death. But but you're looking for Aegon. But what Misery and the White Worm, Damon's mistress, if you will, she gave up Aegon, so she somehow knew. They're giving her a big role. And this is the first time, like, I think I've seen her on screen where her accent is actually annoying me. I think that's also part of it. Like, she doesn't speak like that in person. So that I think is a part of it. Just like hearing her talk was annoying,
Yeah.
personally.
So we're getting to the last episode. I mean, at this point, there's really nothing else they can do. I mean, there has to be a battle. They kind of milked this episode, in my opinion, as much as they could to save the battle or any type of battle for the last episode. I'm hoping it's at least, the entire episode is just them coming over, there being a conflict. I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. Um,
Who going over there? Damon and Rhaenyra going to King's Landing and confronting them?
or some combination of there's going to have to be some sort of confrontation when they find out. They're going to freak out. Um, I didn't even think about this because obviously, like, why would they tell them like what would be the plan if they weren't there when they died? They just expected to be alerted. Um, I feel like so much of this could have been avoided if someone just killed Otto too. I don't know why someone just didn't kill him.
you, that's a big thing. Like, why doesn't someone kill Otto? But
Or if
the
Viserys
thing is,
also brought him back, which was stupid too.
well, remember Otto is also brother to an extremely powerful house and lord. You're not really just going to go kill someone like that on a whim. What I did find interesting though is when they were going in the dragon pit, when she like opens up the thing and she gives him the dagger. It's like, Rhaenyra is the only one that knows about the, I guess, saying being, burned into the dagger and whatnot. Like, I think Aegon even knows Allison was full of shit when your father's last words were for you to be king. Like, what do you? I think you agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone believes her that on the true black side, and even moderately neutral even believed her. Like Beesbury didn't believe her in the slightest. Like he called her bluff, and he got killed for it. In the books, it was a little different, but they did a nice job with that.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of my predictions.
Yeah. What do
I'm
you
tr-
think happens next week?
mm, it's tough to tell. I mean, a bunch of people are gonna die. We'll see if does he end the season as king, this guy. I'm gonna say no. I'll be surprised if he makes it alive at the next episode. I think he's gonna go down.
Do you
Um,
think Aegon's dead next episode?
Possibly. And then
Okay.
I think it's hard to I mean, I think Allison is dead next episode. And I think I don't really know. I'll think about it. But
Well, would you prefer Aemond as king? Aemond clearly wants it more than Aegon. Till Aegon got crowned, he didn't want it. When they started chanting his name, then he kind of wanted it.
yeah, I mean, it's just continuing that second son thing where the second son really wants it, not and like they're all second sons, but you can tell like he immediately changes once he becomes king. So um
Well, do you think he actually changes? That's like a big thing. Like he's being like a drunk rapist, crazy fuck. Like, is he going to be an actual normal person?
probably not. So yeah, I mean that's it. That's the episode. Um I'm expecting a big one next week because I'm expecting whatever I expected this week to happen, I think will happen next week. Um because I think there are a bunch of deaths that have to happen. I don't know who, but a bunch of people I think are gonna have to die.
Well, tell me right now who you think is going to die next episode, and who
Rick
you think survive into season two.
Aemon definitely into season two. Rhaenys dead. Allison dead. Otto dead. Damon dead. Rhaenyra alive. The two kids alive.
It's a
Uh,
lot of dead people, my friend.
yeah, it is. That's what I think. But
Well, a lot of dead people are coming. That's for damn sure.
and yeah, that's it. Unless you have any closing thoughts that are non-spoiler, probably wrap it up here.
Um, no, like you said, out of a 10, what would you rate the episode, real quickly?
Mm, I'll give this like a 7 out of 10, maybe.
Oh, wow, I'm surprised. I was going to give it a 6.
Oh, really? So
Yeah,
yeah, you know what? 6 out of 10. Actually, you're right. Seven's too high. 6 out of 10.
yeah, and it wasn't the usual, craziness. I mean, I have a feeling who I know who's going to make it and not make it by the end of the season. Just since we're almost there, might as well ask who do you think? Well, now that we're basically towards the end, who is your top three favorite characters? Now that you're basically there,
Mm, one is probably Viserys. Two is
Viserys the Peaceful. I love that they gave him the name. I like the Lego King, but Viserys the Peaceful works for
I
me.
don't know. Two and three I have to think about. I don't even know if I have a two and three,
Well,
but
Damon's got there.
yeah, maybe. I feel like everyone just says him. I need like
Well,
a but
This is
definitely
fun.
Viserys won, and then I'll think on the others.
Well, you let me know on the others.
But all right, guys, thanks for watching. We're excited about the finale. We'll be getting the finale to you same time next week. Hopefully, we'll do a longer review. I think there'll be more to cover. This was, I don't want to say filler, but it was kind of a little bit filler, so it's hard to like really break down. I think you just have to watch it. It kind of just almost seems like a two-part finale in a way. Um,
Let's see what they do next week. That's a
yeah.
good way of putting it.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.